Hi, I'm Molly Marsh. Welcome to our first installation of AMR's Meet the Expert series. Today, we're here talking with Matt Pincus, Director of Government Affairs for the National Association of State Chief Information Officers, or NASCIO. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks, Molly. Thanks for having me.
I'd like to start by just asking you for a brief overview of the role and function that you play with NASCIO.
Sure. So my title is Director of Government Affairs at NASCIO, and my job is to represent the interest of the State Chief Information Officers, CIOs, in Capitol Hill and in DC with a lot of federal agencies and different stakeholders.
So, can you explain a little bit more how what you're doing on the federal level has a day-to-day impact on your members at the state and territory level?
Sure. So our state CIOs and the Chief Information Security Officers are so busy and consumed with their professional lives and making sure that state IT is where it needs to be. They really need a voice and a presence in DC who can not only connect the dots between best practices that are going on in the states, but also to be advocates of these best practices in terms of legislation, in terms of representing them in congressional hearings and testimonies, and so making sure that their voice is heard. And it's very hard to do that with them in the states, doing their day-to-day job.
You talked about the importance of relationships and partnerships, and building strategic partnerships is a significant part of your role. Can you explain a little more about why that's so critical and important to both your association and your members?
Absolutely. I think coalition building and just forming coalitions that are striving for the same goal is one of the things that I would say is true throughout every professional experience I've had. The more groups and associations that you can have rallying behind the same cause, the better. I mean, the idea that there are strength in numbers is just not a saying, right? It is true. And so if you're taking that from an advocacy perspective, the more times and the more people you hear something from, the more likely you are to have that resonate. So that is definitely something that we try and do. We have a ton of strategic partners that we work with in DC from all different backgrounds and associations. And so when you can try and get them swimming in the same direction, you're usually going to have success.
Thank you so much, Matt. I really
Thanks,
appreciate
Molly.
you joining us today. Stay tuned for more in the AMR Meet the Expert series.